Okay, the meeting is called to order at 5:30 p.m. Would you take attendance?
Yes. Braddock,
Present.
Hobart Collis,
Here.
Jensen,
Here.
Mekas,
Yep.
Atkins,
Here.
Schwint.
Here.
Okay, item number 2, consent calendar. We'll consider a motion to adopt the consent calendar.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, so now we can have a discussion since the motion is made. Any changes? Any amendments? The meetings are for, the next meetings are for June 10th, July 8th, August 12th, and September 9th. I have a conflict with August
You skipped to item number 8.
number 8.
Yeah. You're in the consent calendar part.
It's clear on here where we talk about
Oh,
that. So we don't have to talk about that
yeah, but
yet.
that's the level for, that's for the complaint.
Put that there. Where's the dates? Oh, I'm sorry, right there's where it says.
Oh, the
where we
number,
talk about
okay,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
August 12th, yeah. Well, these are the dates I mentioned, right? But,
We're in item number 2, consent calendar.
okay,
There was a motion and a second to adopt it. Do you need to discuss anything on it?
okay. The meeting minutes. Is that what you're referring?
Yeah, the meeting minutes, and there's correspondence from Mary.
Okay, yeah.
McCann.
Any amendment, changes to the minutes? Corrections? Do we need a motion?
Good.
I think we just asked for.
We already got it, but
We already
I'll
got
do if,
You do a roll call.
yeah,
if we're good.
you asked for a roll call.
Okay,
Okay. Jensen,
Aye.
Hobart Collis.
Yes.
Schwint.
Yes.
Mekas,
yep.
Braddock,
Yes.
Atkins.
Yes.
Any new business?
Yep. It's on there.
Jerry is not here and resigned. And there's a vacancy as a result.
So nobody else had any wanted more info on that than
Anybody wants to
just
follow
Jerry
up?
only, or?
If the chief has information, I think he'd be
Yeah.
glad to hear
Here
it.
to know
Yeah.
what the conversation was, so.
Yeah, I wasn't at the last meeting, so I read the
Right.
minutes, but
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and
I didn't.
that was the correspondence from Mary. She did submit some information about it. But I don't know if you want to,
What is it?
about the shared jail between Iowa City and Johnson County.
Sure. As Mary pointed out, monthly they have what they call a CJCC. It's a Criminal Justice Coordinating Committee meeting that's the Board of Supervisors puts on the second Tuesday of every month at the administration building over there. And the goal of that, apparently that was started in a couple decades ago when they were trying to get a new jail built. And then after some referendums failed, they stopped meeting. But they've been meeting about 8 months now, maybe 6-8 months. Oh. That seems long.
It does.
But so that group is to talk about, their mission is to talk about getting a new jail and addressing the issues with the jail. What the city is doing, the city about a year ago did a space needs study for this complex here, City Hall, the police department, and Fire Station 1. at the same time, the county was doing a space needs study for their jail and sheriff's department. Those two organizations, OPN and Shive Hattery, are working together now to look at the feasibility of combining combining a facility with the police department and the sheriff's department and jail. There were a couple months into that, the two groups working together, seeing where we could share space. And the reason we did that, from my perspective, I think it makes more sense if it'd be a hard ask to ask Johnson County to build two separate law enforcement facilities at the same time. And there is some opportunity for some overlap. That doesn't mean the the sheriff's department and the police department would be combining. It would just be, there would be some overlap in some meeting spaces, maybe some locker room spaces, gym spaces, things where we could share. So there would likely be and will be a significant cost saving as opposed to building two separate facilities. Right now, the phase they're at is looking at potential sites and the feasibility of those sites. The city owns a property where transit is now at Riverside in the intersection of Highway 1 and 6, which transit will be vacating within the next couple of years. And we're seeing if that spot will work. And the benefit of that spot, obviously, it's owned by the city, so they wouldn't have to buy property. But there's some challenges with that site, just like any other. It's close to the airport. It used to be the city a dump many, many years ago. So that's where they are in the process right now, is seeing if it would work there. Just OPN, when they did our space needs study, felt like there was enough usable space there that certainly a police department would fit there. But they didn't take a real deep dive in it, and that's what they're doing now. So that's where we are. The goal of the county, as they've said many times, the Board of Supervisors, is to get a referendum on the ballot for November of 26. So
I was going to ask about that referendum. Is some time ago it was defeated a few years ago, right?
yeah, I think they've had 3. It was prior to me being here, but and most of them have gotten between 50 and 60%, and what was required at the time was 60%. So, but the code states that if 2 government organizations are working together, the threshold goes down to 50%. So, we'll see. If we were to do a combined facility, the threshold for a bond referendum would be lower.
Is it just for law enforcement, or would other city or county offices be there too?
Right now, it would be just for law enforcement, but there would be a bunch of meeting spaces and community spaces and things like that.
Yeah.
And obviously, the other benefit would be space vacated by the police department could then be expanded potentially and remodeled.
Well, that was part of the
Yeah.
study that OPN did for, the plan would be to, obviously, like you said, we would vacate that. The plan is also likely for the fire department to leave as well. And then this whole place would get completely remodeled, most of it from the ground up.
Do you have any concerns about it? One, in terms of being in the same site as another law enforcement entity, and also being away from the city government?
That's a great question. I don't have any concerns about the combined facility. No, there are a lot of agencies that have done that. It's worked in the past. I think in preliminary talks, we felt like we would probably always maintain some sort of downtown presence, whether it be a couple of offices for the downtown liaison officer or something like that. And that's one of the things, that's why I do like that site. It's not too far away. If that site doesn't work, the amount of space we need really starts to limit our options, and they would likely be further away from city center. So yeah, that will definitely be something that will be that we'll have to consider. But I don't have any concerns about sharing a facility. It would be, again, there would be completely separate offices, and there would be like shared lobby space and things like that, things that make sense. But then there'd be two completely separate organizations and entities that have different jurisdictions, and there would have to be some separation there.
And I've heard in the past and seen that the jail really needs help. Are you too cramped on space here? I mean, is this a need that your department has also?
Right, so taking the jail and the county completely off it, we were doing it, the city itself, City Hall, the police department, the fire department, were doing it because we've completely outgrown our space. Dave could tell you, we literally have people officing in room closets.
Oh my gosh, okay.
We have no more space to expand at all. We've
Okay.
used every available space. So, yeah, we need, if it doesn't work out with the county, we're going to have to do something. It's not, and probably since Dave was on the department, they've been talking about a new police department. It's
Yeah,
always
for a long
been,
time.
for about 2 decades, it's been 10 years away. Yeah. Yeah, so we'll see. I'm optimistic. The jail has significant problems. State code requires that counties have a jail, so it's not like they can just let it close down. They'll have to do something. And they have the jail inspector that comes in and inspects, and this is opinion, I don't think that jail stays open much longer if the jail inspector does not feel like they're making a good faith effort to do something else. I know they are going to, they have to do repairs, because even if everything went perfectly, we're still many years away. So they're going to have to continue to use what they have. I know the sheriff's department spends a significant amount of money housing people elsewhere. And have been doing that for many, many years. And that's not, it's expensive, it's not ideal for the people that, for the people that they're trying to serve when they're several counties away and their attorney has to travel or family members have to travel. So it's something that has to be addressed, and it's going to be addressed one way or another. And there have been jails in the state of Iowa that have been closed down. And that would be a big challenge and very expensive, and certainly wouldn't serve anybody well, including the people who are incarcerated there.
So I guess for some background, when I first started at Iowa City Police, we had a training simulator downstairs in what is now the squad room where they do the squad meetings. And it was an old laser disc thing where you could do use of force simulations. And we had instructors that would work with officers, but I don't know if that company went out of business. There were very limited discs, so it doesn't take long before you learn what the scenario is. Are there any opportunities with the new building for enhancing the training and kind of sharing that cost to make that more available? Or are the talks not even that far along yet?
They are. In fact, we just had a meeting 2 weeks ago about opportunities for the training spaces in there. And one of the spaces that is kind of penciled in or mentioned would be some type of virtual reality thing. The thing you're talking about, some people called it FAT, some people call it laser shot, where it's screen-based projector stuff. Honestly, now technology has gotten so much better, a lot of people do VR, where you just put the headset. So the space needs aren't quite as much, but yes, we're talking about spaces like that.
Okay.
That's advertisement.
Are there concerns right now about safety or security at the jail as it sits?
That's a better question for the sheriff's department, but certainly. I just think, the sheriff has a PowerPoint presentation where it's pictures of all the structural issues, water leakage, cracks in the foundation, things like that. So they're very worried about that, and that's, I think, what they're worried that eventually the jail inspector will say, it's just not safe anymore.
Yeah.
At one point, they were talking about building on that lot that's immediately south of the courthouse with some sort of skywalk and the jail on the top floor. Do you know why they've rejected that idea?
I think that, again, I'm not an expert on the previous plans at all because I wasn't here, but some of those may have been part of the bond that didn't pass.
They were.
Yeah, so, if it doesn't pass, then it's just kind of dead in the water. A lot of that, the county doesn't own a whole lot of land. I know immediately across the street to the east, I think they own some of that property, but there's a couple of holdouts that, and I don't know that they have enough space, and there's a big parking lot near there that I'm pretty sure is university property.
Even with a threshold of 50%, something is amiss when the public is not in favor of it. Something either they don't understand or they understand they are not and don't like it.
Right. So there will be a significant education campaign. There has to be. There has to be.
Yeah.
And it's only, we owe that to the voters to make sure they know what they're voting on. One of the big questions, especially with a combined facility, will be someone, a voter in Solon or a voter in Coralville. Like, why are we paying for the Iowa City Police Department? And they're going to have to understand how that, no, what you're voting on is the sheriff's department portion of this. The Iowa City taxpayers will be funding the Iowa City part. But there are going to be a lot of questions. There's going to be a significant education campaign, and that's one of the things that gets discussed in the CJCC meetings. I don't care if he's not my meeting.
There is going to be an extremely manipulative questionnaire that comes out from my perspective that is basically created by people who have a majority now on the board to bring in all of the social reasons why not to do this, and why to contour it to the idea of negative population growth. A number of things, and that's where I'm going on a scorched earth plan, because it's so much misinformation, it's stunning. It's stunning. And again, the board is in charge of that, so.
Well, thank you for the information.
Thanks, Chief.
Next item is old business. Any old business? Anyone? See-
None.
Yeah.
None.
It says none.
It says none. Right here.
Yeah.
It says no old business.
None.
None.
Well, but there might be some from the board. Public comment?
Apologies again for the last time you met and I didn't speak up. And the young people that I work with did definitely chastise me by saying I broke 2 rules. I was thinking outside of the room instead of where I was. And I took a shortcut and didn't read the agenda. And so, apologies. And I really am here just to thank you all for doing this. I really appreciate the effort and I understand the commitment it takes. So thank you.
Okay. The board of information, anybody on the board has any information they want to share?
Just to, add to the next meeting.
Oh,
We're at number 6, yep.
yep.
We're on number 7 now, right?
Right,
Yep.
right.
Do you want to
And
announce that
as-
or?
Yeah, as we spoke earlier, or some of us, that, Jerry resigned. And so we've got her vacancy being announced here at next Tuesday's council meeting. And then, legal counsel Ford is now at Pugh Hagen Law Firm instead of Leff. But he's still gonna be our go-to guy.
Is it going to make a difference in your rulings?
We'll see, so.
Okay. Number 8, future meeting. This is why I was anxious about. I have a problem with August 12th.
Oh,
You
won't be here.
Your term
your term
expires
ends
next month.
at the end of June. So the June 10th meeting will be your last meeting.
Oh, well, that worked out. Okay.
If you still have issues with August 12th.
That was good, Saul.
Okay, so, well, there's no conflict for me then.
July
Any-
8th, I won't be available. I'll be out of town on July 8th.
You'll be out of town July 8th, okay?
I was wondering with as close as that is to the holiday weekend, if we should bump that by a month, or by a week. Does anybody else have a conflict on that one? I was wondering. No? No? Oh, okay.
I don't have a wife, so.
Anybody
It's like,
anybody else out on July 8th? Okay, so that,
I'll miss.
any other
Sorry
date?
to be on vacation.
No other
Good. Has to count for a
conflicting
quorum.
dates, okay?
well, I certainly don't have any objection to moving a meeting. So if you're doing something on the holiday and you're going to be gone, it's reasonable to reschedule, so.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Okay.
Okay, any motion to accept any changes that haven't been made? No,
Yeah, I
no
don't think we have
changes.
any.
So we're now on executive session. We need a motion, right, to move to executive session?
Make a motion to adjourn to executive session.
Second.
No discussion, seconded, okay. All those in favor, we don't need a roll call, just all those in favor?
Aye.
Yeah. Opposed? Abstention? Okay, the motion passes, we're in executive session. We're now in open session. So we'll need a motion to set the level of review for complaint 24-09 at 887B1D, right? I'll make a motion.
Did you just make the motion? I'll second.
Yes,
I'll second.
need a motion.
Did you make the motion?
Yes.
You did.
You did, and I seconded.
Right,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
Meckus,
Yes.
Atkins.
Yes.
Schwint,
Yes.
Braddock,
Yes.
Oh, that was
Hobart
definite.
Collis. Jensen.
Yes.
Okay.
I just couldn't hear you, Saul. I just couldn't hear you, that's why I asked
Oh.
you to repeat it.
Okay. With,
Make
the
a
next
motion-
item on the adjournment,
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
second, so we can now discuss it.
Jessica.